This Lion Vision update presented by CBNS Bank. We'll talk with UNA head volleyball coach Bob White. The UNA volleyball team has wrapped up non-conference play, and the Lions are heading into ASUN play this weekend on the road. And Coach White, as we prepare for ASUN play this weekend, you guys have played tournaments every weekend so far. How have those prepared you for the upcoming start of conference play?
I think that we're pretty prepared. I think there's been some obstacles, I think, that have kept us being exactly where I'd hoped to be, but there's been a lot of bright moments. Those obstacles would have been our loss of our setter, who went to play in Egypt for the World Championships, and then also losing our libero a week ago, and a head injury and a concussion. And so we haven't really had the whole squad together really for the entire preseason. But despite of that, I thought we've had some really bright moments. We've had 2 wins, and then also we've had 7 games where we've gone somewhere between 22 and 25, and 2 of those were actually winning extra points. I think a 30-28 and a 27-25 game. So if you add those 7 up, those add up theoretically, to some wins, but you got to do all those against the same team moving forward. But we didn't have anybody except for maybe 2 occasions who went in there and really didn't play well. We were competitive in every match and pushed every team to take timeouts and had to push to beat us. So I think that we've learned a lot. We've grown up a lot. You got to remember these are 10 freshmen and two transfers that have never played with the other 2 that are back from last year. So I think, I'd give ourselves a B+ going into this conference play. I'd rather say I had an A, but I'm just being realistic. It's a young group, and I think that's a B+ is probably pretty good for where we are. I think we're optimistic that we have some teams last year that we played close in the ASUN that we can get some W's hopefully this year. It's still a really strong conference. Florida Gulf Coast has certainly set a bar that's really hard for us as a young team to compete with because they're such an old or mature team.
Coach, and sort of what you just touched on, 10 freshmen, 2 more transfers coming in, just 2 returnees from last year. As we get ready for conference play, a new season beginning, you already got this team ready for non-conference play. Now, how do you sort of prepare them for the grind of conference play when they've never gone through this before?
Yeah, well, I think actually the tournament play that we played in was pretty good grind. I think, especially for freshmen, we were playing 3 matches in 2 days, and that's just a lot for them to wrap their heads around, especially learning how to read scouting reports and watching video and things they really had never done before in high school. And I think playing only 2 matches is going to be a little bit easier for them. The difference is the distance that we'll be traveling. We pretty much stayed within a 3-hour radius here of where we are, and getting on a plane and traveling on a plane and doing that, to Florida, then to New York and back home, and getting into that kind of a cycle. But the rigorousness of learning to get ready for a match, I think, is probably what helped us the most those 4 weeks, and I think that'll help us moving forward.
Coming up this weekend for the Lions, a tough road trip. You go down to Fort Myers, Florida to open up against Florida Gulf Coast. Then you go up north to take on NJIT. So you're going from Florida to New Jersey. But, Coach, these 2 teams, just what are your expectations heading into the weekend?
Well, we've watched tape on both of them, been scouting both of them. Florida Gulf Coast is certainly the team to beat this year. They're completely loaded up. I think they have the vast majority of their team back. They got a really special new OH, a freshman at OH that's doing really, really well. And so I think everybody would agree, and the conference voted them the team to beat this year. And so it'll be tough on the road for our freshmen. It'll be a good opportunity. We get to play them twice, so I think that's the positive about going down there. And then just that flight in between, that long distance, getting back on a plane, flying all the way out to New Jersey, New York area, and playing again on a Sunday. But I think that this is something we got to do, and it's part of the ASUN, and I think there's fun parts of that too.
Coach, best of luck this weekend. Thank you for the time.
Oh, thank you very much.